the spiritual entrepreneur has no guilt and no shame by saying, I want to be filthy rich. People who replace the word filthy rich with, I want to be abundant. Gurus or teachers say, forgive your abusers, forgive your rapist. Fuck off.
You also talk about being playful at work. How does that contribute to the team creativity and the culture that we build?
None of them will look at a leader, a boss, a teacher who is stressed, angry all the time. No one will look at that and find that inspiring. I know I'm going to trigger a lot of people.
When you talk about rewiring, is it positive affirmations given to the subconscious mind?
What people don't understand, they go, I do affirmations, I will attract money, I will attract and all this. That's not the attractive field. The attractive field is your subconscious.
Do you believe in the grand plan, the bigger picture, that everything is synchronicity?
I absolutely believe that there is a God, but my God is the shamanism that I practice is simply a tool. Inhale through the nose, full belly, one suck.
When you talk about spiritual bankruptcy, what are the early signs that one can understand, okay, this is not right?
In the face of any adversity, we have to understand that the obstacle is the way, because obstacles don't inhibit success. Obstacles create success.
You also talk about war chest of leaders. What are the tools that are in the war chest of the leaders? If you can shed some light on that.
Okay, so you're speaking to a keynote topic that I give.
Yes.
I'm an international keynote speaker, so you'll have to book me as a keynote speaker to get the full discourse. But the topic is the war chest of a modern leader. That's the modern leader is a conscious leader. The modern leader is a leader who has a whole lot of self-leadership and self-mastery. Emotional leadership, emotional mastery. And so the war chest of a modern leader is not a tangible war chest. It exists in the quantum. It exists in this physical being. This is their war chest. And so when the modern leader is ready for battle in business and in life, the war chest is always there. When they need it, it's there. It's not, obviously not a physical war chest. And so the war chest of a modern leader contains the reserves of resources that is cultivated by the leader to take advantage of any unexpected opportunity. And so it's not any ordinary war chest. It's a war chest that they can take anywhere at any time. So this war chest contains 4 very secret and powerful weapons: mindset, heart set, health set, and soul set. All 4 areas must be encompassed. No area can be ignored. And so really high level, because you have to book me as a keynote speaker to get the full discourse. The first resource in the war chest of a modern leader is mindset. We have to cultivate a strong mind. In the face of any adversity, we have to understand that the obstacle is the way. The obstacle isn't in the way. The obstacle is the way, because obstacles don't inhibit success. Obstacles create success. It's how we respond to the obstacle that defines us. The operative word being respond, being responsible, not react or reenact. That's the self-mastery, the self-leadership piece. The second resource of the war chest of a modern leader is a strong heart set. And so in French, the heart is called le cœur. Le cœur for courage. And so when we say heart set, I'm not talking about, lovey-dovey, kisses and cuddles, peace, love, mung beans everywhere. It's about being brave. It's about being courageous. It's about having resilience and grit. It's about having determination and strength. It's about having the courage to speak up even if it goes against mainstream thinking. It's about having the courage to come from your heart to speak your truth, real, raw, and true, even if your voice shakes. It's about having the courage to speak up when something does not sit right with you. That's what what it means to have the heart set, right? So when you need it, it's there. And then the third most valuable resource of the war chest of a modern leader is health set. Mental health, emotional health, physical health, spiritual health, because let's face it, without our health, there can be no real wealth, right? That's the truth of it. And so if calm courage is a superpower of the modern leader, what is the fastest way to get to calm courage when we're talking about emotional health, physical health, mental health, spiritual health? It's to nurture the nervous system. We have the greatest regulator of the nervous system right under our noses, our breath. So we can't always control our emotions when the going gets tough, but we can certainly control our breath. So the controlling the breath changes the biochemistry, which controls our emotions. Remember I said earlier, most people have their emotions fuel their behaviors. The masters have their behaviors fuel their emotions. Having mastery over your breath is one of those weapons. But that's the decision. Oh, I'm angry. Okay, I'm getting a little bit anxious. Let me find stillness, tapping into the structure of the breath so that I can have sovereignty. That's back to the 3 S's that I spoke to earlier. And
Yep.
so the last weapon of in the war chest of a modern leader is soul set, your spirit. To ask yourself every day, what do I need to do to feel the way I want to
I
feel?
feel.
The feeling is the secret. I want to live my life each day in spirit and inspired. And so all of those things I teach in my teachings, and my signature program, which starts very soon, Luminous transformational growth strategies for the spiritual entrepreneur. So that's the path to the training, right?
Yes, very
I hope
well
that answered your
answered.
question.
You did, and I'm so glad that you did. One thing I also want to share my experience with breathwork here is when you are in that moment where you need that courage, you need that grit. If you have been doing the breathwork continuously, it somehow slows down the time there. When it slows down, you have space to analyze the possibilities that are there in front of you. So, yes, I also take the
Stillness,
breath.
structure, sovereignty.
Correct. You can go inside, check your structure, be in sovereignty again. True. You also talk about being playful at work. How does that contribute to the team creativity and the culture that we build?
I think that well, play is a big value of mine. That's one of my highest values. Joy is a big value of mine. And so, can we give ourselves permission to play, to be silly, to be joyous? A lot of people don't, right? A lot of
Mhm.
people don't give ourselves permission. But let's look at the facts. The facts being, when you are joyful, when you are playful, when you are perpetually silly, you just don't take yourself so freaking seriously. So what happens? Your energy rises. You
Yeah,
have more imagination. You allow your inner magician to run wild. You have more stamina. You can work for longer hours because you are in that heightened state of joy. Joy is also very sustainable, right? Because it's so subtle and yet so powerful and profound. When you are in states of joy, in playfulness, in silliness, would you not say that you are more magnetic? People are more attracted to you. No one wants to be around someone who's miserable as fuck, right? So you also have more creative. You start to produce more. Also, people want to work with fun people. They want to create with fun people. And so, would you not agree that most people have this desire to be in that environment? So, how can it not, therefore, affect and enhance productivity and team culture? I
yeah,
think gone are the days where team culture needs to be serious all the time. But one of the things that I do know for sure, I have a lot of clients, a lot of students, a lot of customers. I have children. I have business partners. I know one thing is for certain: none of them will look at a leader, a boss, a teacher who is stressed, who is overwhelmed, who is angry all the time. No one will look at that and find that inspiring.
yep,
Full stop. No one is inspired by that. But when they see someone who is in perpetual states of silliness, joy, play, while getting more work done, they're going to say, "Can I have some of that, please?"
true. As we have talked so far, what mainly I understand is we are talking about in the shift of the mindset. We are talking about shift in the perspective. But somewhere down the line, I feel there are some deep rooted belief systems from past lives, from ages. How, what kind of shadow work, what kind of techniques can help us, clear these belief systems from the deep rooted? Is the mind shift even possible if these belief systems are still there? And if not, how to navigate these?
So as with everything, it has to start with a decision.
Mm-hmm.
It has to start with a decision. And so some people love having the mindset. Some people love saying, I believe. This is
Mm-hmm.
my belief. I'm like, okay, carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to change your belief. But rather than saying my belief is, I much prefer to work with someone who says, my current belief is,
Mm-hmm.
that's my current belief. But are you open to a different way of being? Are you open to a different way of seeing things? Some people don't have that growth mindset. Some people have that very fixed mindset. You know, we waste no words on those who believe not what's possible, right? And so those who are stuck in that very thick belief system, I have no desire to assist them. I'd rather play with those who want to play, right?
Yeah.
And so um, it starts first with permission from both parties. It starts with a decision and then permission. Pauline, I give you permission to offer me different perspectives, because the more perspectives we can hold, the more free we will become. I believe it also involves a whole lot of ego strength. Ego strength being, you're not going to get offended when I tell you, as your coach, something that you're unaware of. But that's you're not going to get offended. You're not going to get insulted when your coach brings up a blind spot. So that it involves a lot of ego strength. But why do they call it a blind spot? Because you can't see it. That's why they call it blind spots. That's why you have coach and mentors, to show you your blind spot, right? But I have the process of the semantic, somatic, and soulmatic. First, you have to understand the semantic, why you do you, how you do you, and then how you can do you very differently. I have methods on how to take it out of the word salad cloud and present it in a way that says, okay, I understand it now. And then the somatic of the body. Whereabouts are you holding it in your body? Which organs? Where can we release it? How can we neutralize those emotions so that you can come or step forward in a state of homeostasis and neutrality versus being charged all the time, And so do we release that through breath work? Do we neutralize through nature work? Do we release through emotional freedom technique? So we have to always address the somatic. And then, of course, the soulmatic. This is where the activations, the talking to the subconscious, the rewiring of the nervous system, the recoding of dormant DNA. And so when we combine all three practices, the somatic, somatic, and soulmatic, that's how I get results for my clients so quickly, right? Because so many people have been mind-centric. Talk therapy can't reach what the body holds.
Right.
Talk therapy takes too long. Your nervous system is very loyal to the past. Your nervous system is always going to get back there to keep you safe. And so you have to combine all three to understand why first through the somatic, release it in the somatic of the body, and then we go soulmatic, we go quantum to start to speak to the subconscious, to rewire the nervous system. And so that's the path to getting there.
Amazing. When you talk about rewiring, is it affirmations? Is it positive affirmations given to the subconscious mind?
You can do as many positive affirmations as you think, as you like. Nothing will change until you start to rewire the subconscious. What people don't understand, they go, I do affirmations, I will attract money, I will attract and all this. That's not the attractive field. The attractive field is your subconscious. The attractive field is your nervous system. That's what's attracting. I read all these books, but I keep on attracting the same man, or I keep on attracting the same woman. I keep on attracting all this bad luck. That's because your nervous system and your subconscious is stuck in the past. It's keeping you safe there. And so the subconscious and the nervous system, the ego, they're not your enemy, but they need your discipline. They need your discipline, and that's the work. But you can do as many positive affirmations as you like, but it means shit if your heart is still closed, if your spirit is miserable, or your spirit has left the building, if your nervous system is still locked on fear of what people think, if your subconscious is still stuck in patterns that were beaten into you at 7 years old, and you've carried them, and you've carried all the trauma to now, you can do as many positive affirmations as you like. Nothing's going to change unless you change the nervous system. So it's a very bottom up approach versus a top down approach. Everything, people think it starts here and here. No, it starts in your gut. It starts in your subconscious. It starts in your nervous system. It starts in your heart. So it's a very bottom up approach.
It's a deep work. It's a very deep work.
But it's beautiful work, and it needs a lot. It needs the courage to walk down the very long halls of mirrors, plural.
Yes, mirrors, of course. Everything around us is mirrors showing us where we need to work on.
Yeah.
Next. Do you believe in the grand plan, the bigger picture, that everything is in synchronicity already?
I have a few thoughts with that. I absolutely believe that there is a God, but my God is the grand organized design, God, the grand organized design. You can interchange that with spirit, with quantum, with source. That's all one for me, or the universe. That's all part of the grand organized design. I believe the grand organized design. I run my life and my businesses based on the universal laws, the laws of the universe. However, one of the biggest laws that I think people misunderstand is the concept of divine timing. I hear this a lot. I won't do your program because I'm going to wait for divine timing. I won't do that weight loss course because I'm going to wait for divine timing. I'm not going to be a public speaker until I have the courage. A divine timing will help with that. They don't understand what divine timing really is, and so they use divine timing, or they use, I'll wait for the universe to come. The universe wants your free will. One of the laws of the universe is free will and right action. And so we don't wait for divine timing. We activate divine timing. We create divine timing. Do you know why? Because we are the divine. The divine is us. The divine is you. The divine is me. It's not something out there. And so what I find, what people are really saying is, I'm going to use that for my inaction. I'm going to use that to validate why I do no thing. I'm going to validate why I procrastinate. I'm going to wait for divine timing. But divine timing is your free will and your right action. It is waiting for you to activate it. Why? Because you are the divine. And so when you make that decision, when you call up that person, when you pay for that program, when you get on a plane and go to that country, you are activating divine timing. And from there, providence comes in. From there, only from there, that you can surrender a little, because the event managers in the quantum field have many, many more glorious plans than this small mind can even possibly imagine. But it does require you to activate your divine timing. And then the grand organized design, source, spirit says, Yashika, you tell me exactly what you want, and I will rearrange the universe to give you exactly what you want. But Bobette, Yashika, Jane, whoever it is, says, okay, I'm too scared. Or I'm going to wait for divine timing. Or I'm going to procrastinate. I don't have the money. Or I'm too lazy. Or I'm too busy. Spirit, source, the grand organized design says, okay, I will give you exactly what you want.
Yeah, understood. So you also said that people are using divine timing to procrastinate. Is it a sort of spiritual bypassing also?
Yeah, it is a
You,
sort of spiritual bypassing. There's so many different. Yeah, I see it a lot. I see it a lot.
I want you to talk more about the spiritual bypassing. I know you have a very strong opinion around that, so
Sure.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
enjoy the train. No.
well, how many examples do you want me to give? I think it's better to speak about it in examples.
Yes.
I'll give you real life examples. I won't use their real names. Okay, what are some examples of spiritual bypassing? So I once had a student who was in a very abusive relationship. She had a boyfriend who beat her up who would abuse her um, in all sorts of ways. And I said, why have you come to me? What do you need from me? How can I help you? And what she was really, and then when she told me her story, and I said, I can help you with one piece of advice: leave. No, I can't leave. Why? Because I feel like there's more to learn from him. I feel like there's more to learn from myself. I feel like I can help him. I feel like this is my all those things is spiritual bypassing. Because she thinks what she's having is such a spiritual experience. That's one huge example of spiritual bypassing, using it to validate her inaction. What's another example of spiritual bypassing? I know I'm going to trigger a lot of people when I share these
Uh,
stories, right?
it doesn't matter. The
I-
truth
I'm
needs to come out.
I'm very okay that people are not okay because it hurts
So
my
am
body.
I.
Yeah,
So
it
am
hurts
I.
my body, it hurts my brain, it hurts my spirit too much to not speak my truth. So I'm okay that people are okay, that are not okay. Another one is when, gurus or teachers say, forgive your abusers, forgive your rapist, forgive whoever it was that shafted you and ripped you off and stole your money and forgive them. Fuck off. Forgiving means to give something before they have atoned, before they have made amends, before they've even been aware of their wrongs. I'm not going to give anything before anything. And so that's huge spiritual bypassing for me. That's a load of bullshit for me. You have every right to be angry at your abuser. We don't forgive, we don't give anything before that. And people will say, oh, they're taking rent in your brain, blah, 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 blah. I'm saying it's an issue if you let it hijack you. We're not talking about holding on to all those emotions that will create disease and dis-ease within you. That's, you've got to process it. We're talking about forgiveness here. But you know what happens? I've seen this time and time and time again. You cannot force forgiveness. You
Right.
cannot spiritually bypass that. To force it will do so much more harm, so much more harm. But forgiveness is an arising. It's an arising. And when it arises? When you do the work on yourself, when you do the healing work on yourself.
Right.
With the more work you do on yourself, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to say, I'm not sad anymore. I don't have the same charge anymore. It's not affecting me as it used to anymore. And so forgiveness is an arising. It cannot be forced. That's one of the biggest spiritual bypassing crap that makes me get very, very passionate, because the one that suffers is the one that is forced to forgive, to
Forced
give
to forgive.
something before something, And
Yeah.
so, and then of course the example of divine timing that I gave you, I hear that all the time. That's just your validation for your inaction. I have many more examples. Shall I go on?
For the forgiveness part, I also want to say that once your pain is healed, once you are through that, forgiveness is almost automatic. You doesn't
Yeah,
have to say it or express it.
it's
You
an
just,
arising. Yeah.
yeah, you just let the things go on your own, because you don't need that, sorry from the other person. You don't.
Yeah, I saw a clip of a guru, or a spiritual teacher, and he was holding an event, and on stage, uh, in the audience was this beautiful woman, and clearly she was still holding the trauma of her rapist, and he was trying to force her to heal her by making her forgive her rapist. I'm just going, what the fuck? What the fuck? Yeah, doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Mm.
True, true, true. You come out to me as Buddha and the badass. I want you to shed more light on materialism and spirituality going hand in hand.
How do you define materialism?
Thinking more about what you can possess or have or create experience for yourself. And then spiritual is more about going inward. Materialism is more about how your outer reality is. And spirituality is what's going inside you. For me, they're part of a one coin, one side and the other side.
Well, spirituality is very much about the self, right? How can you evolve as the next best level version of yourself? There's a whole. I love to teach science and spirituality. I think that spirituality is simply physics that has yet to be explained. When we are talking about our physical body, the instrument of consciousness, right? And so I guess um, for me, that is an old paradigm, a really old, and again, another validation for inaction. And so I don't speak to being a spiritual hippie or a spiritual monk. I speak to spiritual entrepreneurship, because I believe that entrepreneurs have the resources and the resourcefulness and the energy and the determination to make the real changes in the world. The entrepreneurial spirit is very different to, a business owner. It's a different makeup. Alchemically, the entrepreneur needs more dopamine than the regular business person. We take huge risks. For someone in corporate, they cannot understand why the entrepreneur takes such risks. A lot of, I have mentors and teachers who say, Pauline, you are stupid, right? Why are you taking such risks? And it's like, because I can't help it. I can't help it. Our balls are always on the line. We take huge risks. Why? Because the reward on the other end is huge.
Is it always rewards, or sometimes you also see the pitfalling?
Oh, of course. But you have to cross the river of sharks, right? That's the reward, right? My God, I've fallen to my knees so many times. So many times. I have a restaurant called Red Lantern. It's the most awarded Vietnamese restaurant in the world. We've been around 25 years. We have experienced a multitude of economic downturns, times so tough we've fallen to our knees. Remember that thing called COVID? That's not fun news for a restaurateur. That's not fun news for an international speaker. And so the risk is, why haven't you closed up shop? Why haven't you just, thrown in the towel and done all these things? It's like, because we have the entrepreneurial spirit. We practice never give upology, or we uh, stay in the game long after the others have given up, which is why I say, some of my mentors say, Pauline, you're stupid. I just can't help it. I can't help it. But, for example, the work that I do in my coaching with my program Luminous, the rewards are people, their lives change, their health changes, the ripple effects, their family changes, their business changes, their community changes. Those are the rewards that I'm talking about. And so the spiritual entrepreneur has no guilt and no shame by saying, I want to be filthy rich. People who replace the word filthy rich with, I want to be abundant. I want to be abundant. You're just afraid to say you want to be filthy rich. There's nothing wrong with saying that. And so I think there's a lot of this common myth that materialism is bad. It's like, well, you can't help people if you're broke. You
Yeah.
can't help people if you're
This
poor.
this
I
whole
can't.
new vocabulary of being abundant and being excellent. I think it's just most of the times used as a cover up for what's we actually needing
Yeah,
in
I
the
have no problem saying I want to be filthy rich, because I also know that it takes hard work to get there. I'm not afraid of the hard work.
yes, true. Your work is a blend of science and shamanism, and
Sure.
your clients, how do you go about them, how your workshops look like, and is it difficult for them to understand shamanism, to believe in it? Do they need to believe in it?
I don't know what you think shamanism is. What is shamanism to you, Yashika? Why is it that so hard to believe?
Because it's an old ancient technique, it works with the nature, it works with the five elements. It talks about soul retrievals and merging parts. Not everywhere and not everyone is very comfortable with the part that, okay, your soul part is stuck somewhere and someone can bring it back to you. Not everybody is comfortable with merging of soul parts, having ancestral healings, and
Sure.
knowing that you could hold something your ancestors have been traveling so far. So all
Sure.
of this.
And so one of the things that I would say is that the people who come to me, they just wouldn't come to me if they didn't already have the intelligence
Mhm.
and the openness. Um, uh, you know, what do you mean you don't like nature? What do you mean you don't like sound? Shamanism for me is nature work and music and voice and sound and consciousness. If they don't believe in nature, sound, consciousness, then they're not for me. I don't think they're for anyone really. What planet do you live on if you don't believe that? But it's not a belief. It's not a belief. It's not, you can't work with me if you don't believe. It is a tool. It is a tool that I practice so that I can assist you to become your own healer. And so it really is indigenous quantum physics. That's exactly what it is, right? And so to take someone on a shamanic journey is to speak to their subconscious. That's science. To have someone access nature's medicine, to heal at sunrise, which is the most potent healing time of the day, to be able to activate the voice so that they can speak their truth, to be able to trigger some memory with a sound. Just because it doesn't have lyrics or a melody, it doesn't mean it's not our song. And so to be absolutely clear, I don't mess with ayahuasca or kambo or anything like that. I don't believe in that. My thing is sovereignty, that you don't need anything outside of this vehicle here. Everything you need is within you here, in your mind, in your heart, in your breath, in your spirit, in your gut, all of that, as well as accessing nature's medicine. We don't go out into nature. We are nature. We are nature. But the biggest dis-ease and disease is that we are disconnected so much from our true nature. We're disconnected from our voice, from our own vibration, from our own frequency, from our own hearts. That's where the suffering is from. And so the shamanism that I practice is simply a tool. I don't need for you to believe in order to come. I use it as a tool so that I can assist you to heal the terrain of your internal ecology, because your internal ecology will directly reflect and directly project upon your external kingdom. As within, so without. As above, so below. We are the microbiome. Just as we have our own microbiome in our gut, which affects everything out here, we are the microbiome of everything that's happening out here. There are currently floods everywhere, winds everywhere, because we are so flooded with emotions that we don't know how to control. There are fires taking place because there is so much fire burning within. And so our greatest contribution to Mother Earth and Father Sun is to work on us being the microbiome, because we are nature. That's the greatest contribution that we have. And so it's not a belief. It's a tool. It's a way of being.
Powerful. When you talk about spiritual bankruptcy, what are the early signs that one can understand, okay, this is not right,
Yeah, that's
before
really,
before like going into it for decades and taking a stand for themselves, like.
yeah. So joyless,
Mhm.
if you had no joy. So joy for me is very spiritual. Joy is not this, oh my God, everything's amazing. The goal is to not be this. The goal is to be centered. The goal is to be grounded. And so joy is the appreciation of the opening of a beautiful flower, or the gentle breeze on my face. Joy is how wonderful this cashmere shawl feels on my skin. Joy is being able to look at my children and going, oh my God, you're so incredibly beautiful. Joy is being able to, walk my dog and be absolutely present with him and notice every single observation and awareness that he has. Joy is in those little things. A lot of people who are spiritually bankrupt don't even know how to access joy. They're in error detection mode, which is essentially a very prevalent human condition. How about we be in joy detection mode instead? Another is, are you miserable all the time? Are you diseased all the time? Are you not listening to, FYI, follow your irritations? Are you fighting so hard to hold on to your problems? Do you have a fixed mindset? I'm not open to any of this woo-woo shit. Is it actually science, mate? So woo-woo shit, sex. Are you not open to possibilities? Are you cynical of everything outside of this physical reality? I once had a gentleman who was invited to an event at my house, and he knows, well, he doesn't really know. He was judging what I do and what I teach and what I speak about. And he cornered me by the barbecue and he said, "What would you say to convince someone like me about spirituality? How would
I know
you
your
what,
answer.
how would you convince someone like me? Come on, how would you convince someone like me?" And I said, "I wouldn't."
I just knew your answer.
I wouldn't. Why we waste no words on those who believe not, right? And so there's so many of those things. And do you go day to day with no sense of inspiration, no low energy? Low energy. You've got nothing to live for in your life. I actually do know a lot of people with a lot of money in the bank account, but are spiritually bankrupt as well, right?
Yes. They're just going by the day. They're just going through the to-do list. They're just going through the pressure, but they are missing on the life
Yeah, and often they're sick.
of this. Like, yes, big bellies around. If I'm not asking too much, can you take us through a small breathwork practice, all of us, and to experience the magic of it in real time?
How much time do I have? How long do you want the practice to be?
It's your call. It's your call. How much you want to take us through?
Okay, because if when you say experience the magic, that takes a really good half an hour to 45 minutes, right? Because we go deep, deep, deep. We go deep into the subconscious, but that requires for your whole physical body to relax. Because if this is the limit line, if this is subliminal, if this is above the limit, this is consciousness. How do we go to the subliminal? How do we access the subconscious? We have to do that through the body, through the breath. And so when you say to experience the magic, that needs a really good half an hour to 45 minutes so that you can go into fully relaxation. But let's for the purpose of this podcast, let's do a 5-minute one.
Will we be able to experience the magic through it?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's your physical body, not mine.
I mean to say, have you done these 5 minutes practices before and
Oh yeah,
seen
I
it?
do it. I do it on stage, but that's
Okay.
not up to me to create magic for you. That's up to you to create magic yourself. So
All right.
you've just abdicated, right? You've just gone, you better create magic for me, Pauline. And Pauline says, will I?
No, I'm not asking you to create magic. I'm just asking your
I know, I'm
experience.
playing with you. I'm playing with
Okay.
you.
I'm
Okay,
learning
so let's
playfulness with you.
well, if you want breath work, let's combine two pieces of breath work. And again, um I will share the theory behind it. So the first breath, and also so that your listeners can actually have something practical to walk away with. So the first breath is called like the quick reset or the de-stress breath.
Mhm.
And so it's really important when we do this to have the particular breath land a particular way. So with this one, it's a big inhale through the nose, but holding it in your diaphragm. So it's not like this, it's not in the chest, it's big inhale through the nose, holding it in your diaphragm. And while you've got that, you take one more big inhale through the mouth. So it's like this. So you're filling up your diaphragm and your lungs with that last breath. One inhale through the nose into your diaphragm. And when you think you've got it full, one more suck, holding that and allowing that last breath to expand your diaphragm, expand your lungs, but you're focusing on your third eye, on this here. And then when you can't hold anymore, exhale through pursed lips. Exhale through pursed lips. So it looks like this. Can you feel it already?
I haven't tried. I have to try it now. I
Yeah.
was observing you.
And so when you do this, I want you to just understand the first breath first, and then I'll guide you through both breaths together. That's when it works. But I feel it really quickly because I'm practiced and I get in like a trancey state already. And so take a snapshot of how you feel now. Yes. And then take a snapshot of how you, take a snapshot of the magic. So take
All
a
right.
snapshot of how you feel now. So let's just practice that one breath, right? Inhale through the nose, deep breath. One suck through the mouth. Hold, relax, 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 relax. I want you to hold your breath, allow it to expand your lungs, allow it to expand your diaphragm, just using that breath to expand, expand, expand. Hold your breath at your pineal gland, at your third eye. And when you are ready, just push it out as it comes out through pursed lips. It's a delicious one, isn't it? And so that's one breath. It's so beautiful. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to guide you through 3 of those to prime us for the second breath practice, which is the box breath. Many people already know the box breath.
Yes.
My question would be, do you practice it? Right? And so the box breath is used for a different purpose. The first one is used to reset. Okay, I'm upset, I'm stressed, whatever. Do 3 of those to just reset, to get back into this delicious state of quiet power, this delicious state of homeostasis. Now, the box breath is used by snipers, law enforcement, airport patrol, athletes. And so the box breath's purpose is to get you calmed and focused. Calm and focus. And so when I walk you through the box breath, and then we're going to combine the 2. And so why do you call it the box breath? Because it looks like a box, right? Or you
Right.
visualize a box.
Yes.
And so it's really, really important that you breathe into your diaphragm. Why? Because your diaphragm is where your calm receptors lie. Your chest is where the stress receptors lie. And so this might give an explanation as for all those people who are just anxious all the time, I got road rage all the time, because you are chest breathing and you have compounded stress over the years. This is where, but we can change this, and we can change it very quickly. I've seen lives change through this awareness. So now if we can belly breathe, so that we don't need to box breath, we can just belly breathe, really inhale through the diaphragm. So with an inhale, you feel your diaphragm expand. With an exhale, you feel your diaphragm contract. Inhale, diaphragm expand. Exhale, diaphragm contracts. And so the box breath with one hand on your belly. Inhale through the nose for 3. Hold for 3. Exhale for 6. Empty belly now. Empty belly now. Hold for 3. One more round. Inhale for 3. Full belly. Hold for 3. Exhale for 6. Empty belly. Hold for 3. So we'll just stop there for a minute. The exhale is always double the inhale. We've breathed into our diaphragm, and not only are we visualizing, we're also focusing right here, the third eye, the seat of intuition. Why do you want to focus here? So you're not focusing on the email that you got to send, or the dinner you got to cook, or the person at work, right? We're just going to focus there. And so let's start. We're going to do 3 rounds of the reset breath. And after the 3 rounds, I'm going to guide you through several rounds of the box breath. And so take a snapshot of how you feel now. Take a snapshot. And when you have these breaths, you'll start to feel a little bit giddy, a little bit in trance. That's the whole point. Because when we are in a trance state, we are more suggestible to information. And so I do this, and it could be a hypnosis, it could be a shamanic activation, it could be tapping into the quantum field, it could be seeing things that are not seen or hearing things that are not heard. When we are in that transcendental state, we're more suggestible to information, more aware, alert. And so even though we may look a little bit stoned, right, we are absolutely present. Right? Because that's what it is. All right. So let's do 3 rounds of the reset breath. Inhale through the nose. Suck. Hold. Relax your body. Holding that breath, allowing that breath to expand in your lungs, expand into your diaphragm, holding that breath, relax your body, focusing on your third eye, on your pineal gland. Hold, 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 hold. Whenever you are ready, exhale gently through pursed lips. Inhale through the nose, full belly, one suck. Hold, relax your body, relax your throat, relax your jaw, holding, holding, holding at your third eye. You need to be relaxed, relaxed, relaxed. Allow that breath, allow the air to expand your lungs, allow it to expand in your diaphragm. Hold, hold, hold. Whenever you can't hold anymore, purse your lips and gently exhale. You'll find yourself being able to hold more, which is great. That's when the biochemistry changes. And one inhale through the nose. Last suck. Hold. Whenever you are ready. If you can hold for longer, hold for longer. Expanding your diaphragm, giving it more capacity. You have more capacity in your lungs now. You can hold your breath longer. And with your eyes still closed, you can relax, relax, relax. As I guide you now through a few rounds of the box breath, gently breathing into your belly, inhale through your nose for 3, 2, 1. Full belly, hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale through your nose for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Full belly, hold for 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Full belly. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. And you can relax now. Keep your eyes closed, breathing at your own pace, breathing in your own time now. Te o Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti Om. Whenever you're ready, you can place a gentle smile on your face and open your eyes, feeling the magic of those breath practices.
Ah, I have to tell you this. After the three bits, it felt like something just come up. All the, built up stress and anxiety, it was right there on the surface. And
Yeah.
then, and after the second breath, when you took me through that humming, I was not
Mm,
listening here. I was listening right into the center of my chest.
yeah.
So powerful. Oh
Well
my
done.
god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
How are you feeling? If you gave me 3 emotions or 3 feelings, how are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling very much inward, like
Yeah.
right in the center of myself. And it's
So
like,
you're feeling centered?
yes, yes. I all simultaneously, I'm feeling I'm just vibrating positivity, like
Yeah.
love, and I'm just into it, like into the things. So,
Amazing.
and yes, focused.
Yeah.
Like sharp, laser sharp.
Well done. Very good.
Thank you so much. This was tremendous. I mean, I couldn't have this better than what we have created. I'm so grateful to you. I'm so in love with you. So,
Yashika,
bye.
thank you.
Next time
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
so much.
see you.
Yeah, the joy was mine. The joy was mine. And there's so many more practices, and there's so much more work for the listeners who want to work with me. I have my Luminous program coming up in August the 29th. It's a 3-month hybrid program. You're with me live for 3 months. So we do the deep work, and it's beautiful work. There's so many transformations, and they can read all the testimonials and see all about it on my website.
I'm looking forward to that program, and I would nudge all the viewers to come forward. Let's start this deep inner work. Let's transform
Yeah,
our lives.
that's how we
Let's
change the world.
be our highest selves. This
Yeah,
is the life we have got. We have to make maximum out of it.
yeah. And they can, contact me through my website, or through
Yes.
email, and we'll get on a Zoom, and we'll connect, and yeah, life changes when you are in my orbit.
Yes, I will be sharing all her contact details, the details of the program, the website, the contact numbers, and everything in the description. You can surely contact her if you are interested in this kind of deep work, if you are interested in your leadership and success,
Yeah,
holistic success. If you're looking for that, Pauline is the person for you.
amazing.
And
Yashika, it was my joy. You did such a good job. Well done.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a training for me, and I loved it. It happened with you. So thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you.
I
All
am
right,
on the
blessings.